What's up, everybody? This your main man, Theo, and you're on Ride the Beat. Today, we'll be interviewing Miami's own Shin. How you doing this afternoon?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Just relaxing right now in my office. That's it.
So, man, I know personally you've been in the game a long time, man. So, what first got you into music?
Well, it started back in my early days in elementary school, middle school, performing in talent shows, being the captain of the drill team. So I was always into that entertainment. You know, those that know me from back then, they know I was always an entertainer, you know, from my earlier childhood years.
You know, in your first part of your career, you went from, first you started with Slip and Slide, right?
Oh, yes, I did. Yeah, Slip and Slide.
All right, then you went to a couple other labels. So what was it? The right fit for you at the time, and you were just trying to looking for something else that you know could really enhance your career?
Oh well, you know when we talk about music, you know, and a lot of times I tell a lot of young artists now, when we talk about the music business, it's a business, you know, and the music business is all about transition. You know, some people say it's like a sailboat, you know. You have your time, you have your moment, and then you got to move on. And it's not necessarily that it's a problem, but that's just the way the industry goes. You know, you with a label, you know, you have your time with them, you do what you need to do, and then, you know, it's on to the next, you know what I'm saying? But I tell people all the time, when it comes to Slip and Slide Records, Ted Lucas, I really appreciate the opportunity that he gave me, you know? A young kid coming out of PSU projects, right across the street from Charles I. Drew, you know what I'm saying? Not too far from the Poke and Bean projects, you know, that was my area.
Right.
And to be given that opportunity at that time, you know, and it was rough. But let me tell you this story though, because a lot of people ask me how I came about, you know, signing with Slip and Slide, hooking up with Ted Lucas. And it was actually through Trick Daddy, TWD. I had a little spot back then, you know, thank God that, you know, I made it through. And Trick used to come through, he knew a guy that I knew. And they introduced us and told him, say, hey, this guy know how to sing, blah, blah, blah. And that's how I ended up getting on the song Hold On his album, www.thug.com. That's the first song I actually did with Slip and Slide before I even did my album. I went in the studio and I did that joint. They was doing a deal with Atlantic at the time with him, Trina, SNS, Trey, it was Money Mark and Corey. Then you had Mystic and the Lost Tribe. They was doing a deal with Atlantic. And they didn't really have no R&B at the time, but when I did that joint with Trick and Atlantic heard it, they was like, who is that guy that's on that song? And it went from there. It was like, hey, we need to have him. We need to get him. So that's how I ended up with Slip and Slide Records.
All right. So I see, you know, later on you went independent, which that's what a lot of people trying to do now. So what's the advantages and disadvantages of a label and then being independent?
Well, the advantages of being independent, you can set your own schedule independent when you're independent. When I was signed to Atlantic, Slip and Slide, it's like you have a schedule. And a lot of times people look at the glamour, they look at the glitz and say, oh, I see the jewelry, I see the television, I see the prime time, but they don't know the work that comes behind that. Being on them planes, 6 o'clock in the morning, have to get up 6 o'clock to catch a plane and go to Chicago. And then as soon as you finish, you got to jump on another plane and head to North Carolina. Then you got to head back out to LA. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of running around, and it starts wearing on your body after a while, you know? Also mentally. That's why when you see a lot of guys, even now, before they didn't talk about it, but now it's starting to come to the forefront where you see a lot of artists now, they start to break down. You know what I'm saying?
You can give to a young up-and-coming artist, somebody who hasn't made it yet on, you know, how to make it in the business. Be relevant.
The best advice I've been given, stay spiritually grounded. Everything else will come. You know what I'm saying? When you focus on the money, you go after the money, a lot of guys will tell you they not getting it. But when you stay spiritually grounded, you'll find it'll start coming to you from all type of places, man. It'll blow your mind. So that and again, that was some work for me to pretty much get it. But now I got it. You know what I'm saying? Got to stay spiritually grounded. And the advice I would give to other young artists and even people, period. You know what I'm saying? Human beings, period. Just stay spiritually grounded. You know what I'm saying? And we all have talents. We all do. You know what I'm saying? Focus on that. Focus on your talent. And push yourself. And never let anyone tell you what can't be done. You see what I'm saying? Because we all have it. Because a lot of times, to be honest with you, you know, I'm sick and tired, you know, of hearing people and seeing people talk about their talents and the dream they had that they actually threw away because, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, to me, it don't make sense. You know what I'm saying? And I said to somebody the other day, it was a statement that was made, said, when you have kids, you're supposed to just focus on your kids, right? I agree with that, but then at the same time, my whole thing was, and I'll say this, my whole thing is that, yes, that's first and foremost, but don't give up on yourself. You see what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, this is the reality, and I say this here. Your kids are watching you. So when you say, okay, I done gave up on my dream because I got to take care of my kids, and all because I just got to go to work, make money, come home and take care of, they watching that. So in their mind, all they thinking about is, you know what? I ain't got to try to build and beat nothing. But see, all they doing is going away and coming home. That's all they doing. I know my daddy got a dream. I know my daddy want to do some music, because every time music come on, every time the television show come on with music, I see my daddy sitting over there in the front of the television looking, and I can see his face lit up. You see what I'm saying? And I see him with his work shirt on. He just got on, and I'm sitting here watching. And all this kid is doing is seeing his dad have a dream, and seeing his dad gave up on his dream. And the kid is like this here. Now you may be thinking, saying, you know what? My kid want me to give up my dream for him. No, he don't. Your kid wants you to be the best that you can be, because he's watching his father. He's looking up to you. You see what I'm saying? So I emphasize, and I say this to a lot of brothers, man. You see what I'm saying? A lot of mothers. Don't give up on who you are. I'm not saying don't take care of your kids. Kids, you gotta take care. All right, so yeah, listen, if anybody watching, man, they listening, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead and hit up Team Shin Enterprises. That's me and my wife, company Team Shin Enterprises. You know, she called herself the business mogul, you know what I'm saying? Because she's a grinder, she get out there and grind. So, you know, I sit back and I watch it, and, you know, I'm very proud of what she doing. There's a lot of stuff that she's out there doing right now in the community. Ride now with us on Ride the Beat TV. Y'all keep it locked, for real. It's going down. 2020. Peace.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Hi, this is your main man, Theo, and you tuned in to Ride the Beat. This is my co-host, Michelle.
How you doing?
And today we'll be interviewing Miss Tiffany Monroe. So how you doing today?
I'm good, and you?
Good. So where are you currently located right now?
I'm in Chicago.
All right, so how's the weather out there?
It was hot today, and then it rained, so I'm pretty sure it's humid outside right now.
All right, so what type of singer do you consider yourself as?
I consider myself an R&B singer with a little bit of dash of trap. COVID definitely has slowed a lot down. Like, I just started back, like, trying to get back in the groove of, you know, of recording and trying to release tracks and, you know, and get back out there. You know, it slowed down a lot because no shows was happening. No studios were open, you know, so it slowed a lot down or whatever. But the music that I did have already recorded or whatever, I mean, that was easier, you know, just for me to put it out there and get it out to people.
So I see you and Mango, y'all do some collaborations together. Are there any other artists, anyone else you're trying to work with to continue to further your career, further get that music out there to the audience?
Yeah. It's a couple of people that I really want to collaborate with and like kind of like remix some stuff and bring it back out. One of them is Genuine. Yeah. I mean, I've met him once or whatever, and I'm still gonna try to, make that happen or whatever. But I would love to remix some of his stuff and, put a 2020 spin on it.
So what people see the glitz and the glamour, but they don't know the hard work, the grind that goes into becoming a professional artist and making it in the music business.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that, because I mean, it takes a lot, like, especially like when you're an independent artist, that's money coming out of your pocket for every single thing that you want to do. And I've been singing since I was 5 years old, and I didn't really start taking it serious till like years ago. But then it just so happened that, my father got sick and he had a stroke. So I kind of just shut everything down and put everything on pause. And then, when he passed away, I almost actually gave up music or whatever, because, it was just a really hard time for me. But, eventually I was just like, I can't give up doing this. I know this is what my daddy would want or whatever, for me to, continue and to do my music and everything. And I see all the things that go on in the industry. I didn't already dealt with some of it already, unprofessional producers flirting, not want to get to the bag. They worry about the other thing or whatever. And, being a female coming out into this industry, I got to make sure I'm shutting all that down right in the door, because I'm not having it at all. So you know what lane I try to stay in? I try to stay in the lane of Tiffany Monroe and what Tiffany Monroe values. So that's the lane I'm trying to stay in, because I will not work with you if certain things, say like if you out there on this certain type of foolishness that I don't want to equate my brand with, I'm not going to work with you.
Do you want to stay an independent artist, or would you like to be backed by a major label?
It really all depends on what that major label is talking about, because I know that for a lot of artists, that first deal that they get always messes them over, and I ain't trying to have that happen to me. So I'm gonna be, if I do, I'm gonna be reading that fine print, and there's gonna be some negotiation going on. If they ain't talking what I'm looking for, I would rather stay independent. But if it did come along and they talking about the right things, most definitely.
I think being an independent artist, even though I feel it's more of a grind, I think it's worth it in the end, for owning your own music, being able to put out what you want to put out when you want to put it out. So, I wish you much success in it. Unless you got real, being that you do music and everything like that, what's your strengths and weaknesses? Some people don't like to, talk about their weaknesses, but we all have strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah. So one of my weaknesses is actually when it comes down to songwriting. I will let things bother me to the point where I just can't write anything, or I'll start off strong, and then as I continue to write, it kind of drifts away, and it's just okay, I can't start off strong, and then it just goes down the drain. So definitely songwriting.
Hey, it's your girl Tiffany Monroe. We're gonna see what we can do with this one, right? Hey, hey. Move to the beat, get out to sea. Come dance with me. I'm Tiffany. Yeah, yeah. Nice to meet ya. Let me teach ya some of my dance moves. While I get time, no you, nobody in this room compares to you. Baby, come on closer to me, baby. Come come closer to me. Bring the beat back, hey, hey, hey. Hey.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This your main man Theo, and you're tuned in to Ride the Beat. And today we'll be speaking with Miss Twiya from the No Idol Music Collective. How are you doing today?
I'm doing really good. How are y'all doing? Hey, everybody.
Okay, we're doing very well. So I see Twiya stands for, you say it stands for The World Is Yours.
Yes. The world is yours always.
The world is yours always. Very nice. So
yeah, I'm an Oz fan, so that's where that came from. I was trying to think of like something that is like me, but you know, tells people a little something about me, but that's where I got that from. So I always shout that out.
So listening at your music, and all you are, but just listening at your music, I love your sound. It's real soulful. It's just something you can really just kind of ride to and chill. So I love your sound.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So how is the music scene in Seattle?
It's different. It's a lot of different sounds. It doesn't have because I think, you know, Seattle is like it's not a new city, obviously, like it's just as old as any other city, but I think a lot of the places here it's like new sounds, like new scenes come up, and it's a lot of different people moved here from different places, so it's definitely a lot of different like genres and like mixes of genres and people. It's definitely creative. Well, I mean, I grew up listening to like a lot of like Stevie Wonder, a lot of India Arie, Erykah Badu. Like I just listen to a lot of like soulful music, I guess. So just naturally, that's just kind of where like my natural heart sound goes to, is to sing that way and to like express myself that way. But I also grew up listening to like a lot of hip hop. Like I'm a writer. I started my life as a writer, like writing stories and poems and stuff. And I just listened to a lot of hip hop, like Nas, Mos Def. Just a lot of lyrical artists. So that's kind of how my lyrics come. Like my lyrics come with more of like a hip hop flavor, but then the singing comes from more like the soulful background too. So it's kind of like that introspective kind of thing. Yeah. So
I know that you went between Seattle and Baltimore. So what made you, are you in Seattle permanently now? That's your home base? Are you still doing the in-between?
Well, I mean, I still go. Like I go to Baltimore at least once a year. I was born in Seattle, so I'm in Seattle right now, and I was born here. And I moved to Baltimore when I was 11. So I spent, like my little kid years in Seattle, and I spent all of my coming of age years in Baltimore. I didn't come back until I was 20. So I was like, went through all my preteen stuff, all my teenage years, all my like growing up I did over there. Make a sound for me, and I was always like looking for people who could like make a sound, like, I'm kind of like able to pick up most instruments and like make a little tune with it, but I didn't really have like an instrument that I played really well, so I couldn't just do a guitar acoustic or something like that. So it was just a hindrance for me, like I was able to like write these songs and I could like make these melodies and stuff, but I could never record anything because I never had a beat, and all the beats that I would find weren't really like the flavor, so I just kind of got like forced into learning how to produce my own music because there was no other way. So it was like I wanted to learn because I had to. I started out in the art school, so I do all, like I've done the logo, I made that, and I handle the website and stuff like that. So I've been teaching them more about like, digital media and graphic design, stuff like that, and the photography. I definitely teach them. Somebody has to take my pictures. I can't only take everybody else's pictures. So I've been teaching everybody about like that kind of stuff, and then they teach me what they know.
And I just want to say, I think that's really great that you all have so many different gifts. You feed off of one another and you teach one another. And I think that's very important. And with that being said, I think that's going to take you all a long way with being able to do so much and have so much creative control, I just think that's very important, and it's good to be knowledgeable of a lot of different things.
Yeah, it keeps you from getting gate kept. I feel like, you know, especially when you're more of like an eclectic artist, like all three of us are definitely, you know, we have good sounds and a lot of people, you know, like our music, but we do have like more of an eclectic sound. It's more of an underground, it's not as mainstream. And, you know, if people don't see, you know, don't value that in you, then they don't teach you, you know, and they don't give you an opportunity to come to their studio, and they won't, you know, take your pictures if they don't think that, you know, you have enough Instagram followers or something like that. So teaching yourself gives you the opportunity to like do what you want to do, because otherwise you have to bank on somebody else giving you that chance, you know, and you may or may not get that chance from somebody. So if you invest in your filming or something like that, it's definitely the goal is that this is the job, you know, like my job where I work from home, that's my side job, you know, like my music is my main job. So yeah, all the free time I have, that's where it goes.
So congratulations on the baby, and how is it being a new mom?
It's so awesome, and she's a sweetheart. I got blessed with a nice, quiet, relaxed baby. She's really cute. She just sits there and looks cute, and I'm like, oh, thank you. You know, so it's been good so far.
Well, I just want to thank you for taking the time to come on to the show, and appreciate you sharing your knowledge. And before we get out of here, just let all the viewers know where they can find your music.
So you can find my music on our website. It's www.noidolmusicgroup.com. That's idol like trophy, IDOL. You can also find me on all the major streaming platforms. So Spotify, iTunes, every place. And Twiya, The World Is Yours Always. That's TWIYA. And at Twiya Music on Instagram.
Why you dissing? Wake up in the morning, cause missing. Usually I don't act like this shit tripping. I've been slipping, even though I'm not your girl. I still want you in my world. You know, I'll go all my way for you. Live out all my days for you. You know. I'll go where you want me to. I want you to want me to. I'll go all the way for you. You know, I'll go all the way for you. You know.
Hey, we have on the check-in Miss Celine Christaline. How you doing today? How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
We're doing well.
So where are you currently?
I'm just outside of Baltimore. I know it's such a trend right now for people to wear brand name and designer. So I think if we could get our youth to really move away from the idea of, I guess, wasting money on these expensive clothing, you know, and invest it in their future and in themselves instead. You know, maybe you can have a couple of designer things here and there, you know, but at the same time, why don't you make your own clothing line? Why don't you make your own designer brand, you know?
So with that, at your age, with that mindset, that's something I really like that. I like that a lot. So with that being said, you say you have a studio in your bedroom where you do your music at right now.
Yeah.
So is your plan long term, is it to be or stay independent, or would you like to work with a major record label?
Independent all the way. I love being able to do what I want when I want, you know, and getting, of course, the full amount. Like if you do everything on your own, you don't have to split unless you work with other people and you know, handle the business separately. I would just much rather not be tied by anything and not be controlled in that way.
Passions outside of music.
Poetry, which, you know, it's pretty directly linked to music.
Yeah.
But that was how I got into actually making music more. I mean, like growing up, even in elementary school, like I like to sing, so I would write my own like silly songs. And, you know, at that point, I wasn't recording until high school, until my sophomore year. So I was freestyle rapping, and then it turned into me actually getting a little more serious. It kind of started as like a joke, but then I started writing like some raps, and I used rhyming heavily, and they were kind of more goofy at first, but then it turned into something more serious. So a lot of my beginning poems that I wrote had a very rhythmical rap type of vibe to it, but then as I progressed, I started writing things about multiple types of philosophies and thoughts, and just about the world in general, just to get people to think, you know, think for themselves and think outside of the norm.
So do you do any spoken word, anything like that?
I do. I could actually share a poem right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
My share. Okay, well, I want to share this one, but it, you know, might change the vibe a little bit because it's on a serious topic.
Okay.
But it's a part of the reason why I started doing everything on my own, even with, you know, modeling and for photography and such. So this poem is called Don't Touch Me There. I am so sick and tired of these measly photographers taking advantage of young women, preying on them and then spitting them out when they're done, getting what they want. And I'm supposed to live my life every day like I forgot. And that I'm supposed to keep it my dirty little secret, to let the pain, guilt, shame, and regret eat at me each day, feeling less because if I go on and I feel more, I feel used and abused. Don't touch me there, is what I wish I said, with all terrifying thoughts racing in my head, regretting the fact that I got high, took shots, becoming cross-faded, inebriated with the lack of cognition and the lack of consent. It's all of this stupid mistake I should forget. By doing that, I still regret, with the replaying movie frame playing in the back of my head, thinking I thought I'd never become this woman who would be put in these shoes. I completely take accountability for the fact that I'm the one who stepped in these shoes, but I'm not the one who broke trust and touched when it was not discussed, and yet I feel such disgust towards myself and no one else. I'm supposed to keep silent about this, brush it off, like, oh no, just another loss. But at what cost must I pay to continue to be treated this way? For our women have been manhandled for far too long. How much longer until I finally have the courage to sing this song and share that it's me too who has been wronged, and it wasn't me who was in the wrong all along.
Wow.
Nice, nice, very nice.
Thank you.
Wow, that was
Very nice. I know that was
extremely deep.
No, it's something like you don't know how much time you're actually going to be alive for, so you have to live with purpose and you have to do what you love, or what's the point of living anyways? So I took a lot of turns and twists and just trying to figure out who I was and how I was going to use all these gifts that God gave me. And now I am so grateful that I am who I am today, and I'm able to just give people advice and hopefully have them, you know, just be happy. Like, everyone just wants to be happy. Everyone wants to do what they love and get paid for it. So if everyone in the world could just live that way, I think everyone would be so much happier. If everyone just loved themselves, then they would just be able to love everyone else and find forgiveness for yourself and everyone else.
I just want to thank you for sharing your life, basically, you know, kind of opening up with us. Thank you for taking the time to come on to the show. and we'll definitely be checking back in with you to see your progress, your process in life. And I wish you much success, and I know you're gonna be great at whatever you do because you're so positive. You give that great energy, so anyone you get around, they're going to feel that warmth and that love and that energy as well.
Thank you. I appreciate you inviting me on the show. It was such an amazing time to discuss all these things with you guys.
All right, well, we appreciate you taking this time, and we hope you have a great rest of your day.
And where can they find you on social media?
So you can find me at Celine Christaline on Instagram, and then at Disciple Celine on Instagram and Twitter. And my music is on SoundCloud, Bandcamp, and AudioMac for now, and YouTube.
Soleil.